Hey guys, it's Nihongo Johnny and welcome to my channel if you are new. My name's Johnny and I talk about all things paranormal and Japan, so if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely click subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and hit the bell for more notifications. I put out spooky videos every Friday. Before I get started, I just wanted to see how you guys were doing. I haven't recorded in a couple weeks because I've been really sick on and off, so it felt like forever since I last made a video. And it was only a couple weeks, but I really miss you guys. I really like talking to you guys throughout the week, so it felt really lonely. And I just wanted to see what you guys have been up to, so let me know in the comments below. Today we're going to be talking about a haunted tunnel and scary village in Japan. In southern Japan, on the island of Kyushu, there is a place called Fukuoka, and it is a fairly large prefecture. This is actually really close to where I used to live when I lived in Japan, so it really hit home for me when I learned about this topic. In the countryside of Fukuoka, you can find a ridge, and it's called Inunaki Ridge. This is by no means a secret. It's located on a map, and you can even find it on Google Maps if you just went and searched for it. I'm not sure if you could find it in English, but you could definitely find it in Japanese. And right near this ridge, there's a tunnel called Inunaki Tunnel. It is a big spot for ghost hunters in all of Japan, and I think I even saw it on TV when I used to watch the news. So it's not a secret, and a lot of people do go here. This is actually the newer tunnel. There are two tunnels. There's an old Inunaki tunnel and there's a new one. And the old one is all boarded up. I don't know if boarded is the right word, but they have it sealed up with a lot of rocks and it's all covered in moss. So it seems extra creepy. There are so many ghost stories surrounding this tunnel. There's one story of this man who was driving one day and he kind of lost control of his vehicle. His car began to speed up faster and faster and he couldn't really slow it down. He tried hitting the brakes over and over, but it wouldn't slow down one bit. He ended up rear-ending this guy that was waiting at a red light at the end of the tunnel. He was very surprised because he had a completely clean record. He had never gotten into any accidents, he's never had a ticket before, and obviously anybody is subject to making a mistake once in a while, but he was really certain that he could not control the car. The guy he hit ended up being really nice and blamed it on the curse of Inunaki. So it seemed both of them believed that this was the cursed tunnel that caused the accident. There's many reports of people driving through this tunnel and hearing this really creepy sound like someone's pulling on their door handles. And sometimes even your open door light will go on. And I think that's so scary. If that ever happened to me, I'd probably get into an accident or I'd just jump out of the car right away. Other reports talking about a sound on the top of your car as if a dead body is dangling, swaying back and forth. And I don't know how people know what this sounds like, but apparently it's a big thing and everyone seems to think that's what the sound is. One couple tried to pull over at a nearby convenience store to check to see what the sound was, and they found no traces of anything, no fingerprints or anything. These kinds of things are still happening today, and you can even catch it on Japanese TV if you're able to watch that. And if I do find any old videos that I can show you guys, I will definitely post them in the description below. It is rumored that near this town exists a really creepy, cursed and haunted village, and this is called Inunaki Mura. And this village contains a really disturbing sign on the outside. It says things like, in the vicinity of Inunaki Tunnel, there are North Koreans, and Japanese people who approach this area were killed. And beyond this point, the rules of the Japanese constitution do not apply. Depending on which version of the legend you hear, you might hear different things, but this was on the Japanese version that I saw. Whether this village is real to this day is still debated, but nobody has ever actually seen it, or at least come out alive if they did see it. In order to get to this village, people say that you have to go through a side path near the old tunnel. And it's really easy to miss, you can only get there by walking. Once you approach this area, you'll notice a broken down sedan. And it's starting to rust, and it will have broken windows and some ripped car seats on the inside. It said that there were people actually murdered in that sedan. Other versions of this legend said that people who own the sedan mysteriously went missing. But one thing is for sure, if you come across that sedan, you have come to the entrance of Inunaki Village. If you do happen to find this village, you must be very careful and think twice before entering. Those who enter never come back. There's many reasons for why people think this. Many people say this because if you enter this village, there are old traps there, and if you get caught, there's no way of anyone ever finding you again, and you're left alone to slowly die. You have to remember that even though the area is located on a map, this specific cursed village is not. No one's gonna come looking for you, so you're gonna be out of luck. There's stories of the villagers coming out and chasing you down and killing you, and apparently they have superhuman speed, and that is the creepiest part to me. I just see these people moving really fast in inhuman ways, and that is nightmare fuel right there. Apparently there's also no cell phone reception there, and all forms of communication are lost the moment you enter this village, so you really are screwed the moment you go inside. There are many more strange rumors listed about this area. One of them says that this area was abandoned by the government many years ago, way before World War II, and they had to learn to be self-sufficient and survive on their own. Locals are committing incest because they do not have enough women in their village to keep the population growing. There's a shed somewhere near this village filled with bones and human skulls of their victims. The village is surrounded by a fence made of string and soda cans. I'm not quite sure how they got a hold of these soda cans if they're self-sufficient and no one goes in there that much. Maybe there's a lot of people drinking soda on their way in and they die and leave the cans and then they make a beautiful fence out of those. But who knows? When somebody tries to jump over this fence, it makes a sound alerting the locals to come and attack. The public phone at the closest convenience store cannot be used to contact the police. You can call almost any other number, but when you try to contact the police, the line just goes dead. You should never travel to this village in odd numbers. It doesn't say why, but it just says don't. The villagers apparently don't speak Japanese. I don't know if they speak Korean or if they just don't have a language or maybe if they made their own. Once again, the government or the police are not allowed to go and interfere in this area. The last rumor I found was that the village people at one point, or still do, have leprosy. But like everyone else, I'm not quite sure how true that is. Aside from the urban legend, there are some facts about this area. Between the early and mid 1600s, there were people working in this area. They were cutting down trees for firewood. And in 1961, the real village of Inunaki was actually established. As time went on, there were a lot of soldiers that lived in this area. And when they were digging up graves in order to relocate a cemetery, they found so much money and pottery and swords, indicating that at one point this village was thriving. So there was a real and separate village called Inunaki. This once again is not the cursed village, but this village was close by and had the same name. It wasn't the cursed one. In the late 1800s, the real Inunaki village ended up merging with the Yoshikawa village. And ever since then it had many name changes. The most recent name for this area is called the Miyawaka City. If you go there today, this is not the cursed village. You're going to be very safe, don't worry about that. But the urban legend / cursed village supposedly exists near this city. One thing that people note being really weird is when the news does a segment around that area of the Inunaki Ridge. They never go past the ridge. They stop right before it. They never go inside. So people kind of wonder, is this village actually real? I think that all legends are based off of some sort of truth, but I don't think it exists to the extent that all these rumors are talking about. I think maybe one time in the past something really weird happened and a lot of rumors sprung from that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I always look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. If you guys haven't already, please click that thumbs up button, click subscribe, and hit the bell for more notifications. I put out new videos every Friday, and I'll see you guys next week for another spooky video.